Mr. Constanchona to give the welcome address. Please, a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abena. Great introduction. Good afternoon. Let me feel more of the energy in the room. And I'm going to say RWVLG, which is the short name, the short for the Renew Women Voice Leadership Ghana. And I will expect from you to say a more equal Ghana, okay? A more equal Ghana. So RWVLG, RWVLG, RWVLG. Thank you so much. So let me, in addition to the introduction already made by Abena, acknowledge the dignitaries. Madame Françoise Ndouimana, Head of Corporation of Global Affairs Canada. Madame Ya Nkansa Anin, International Assistant Officer of the Global Affairs Canada. Madame Sabina Pekata, Principal Officer for the Ministry of Gender. Distinguished representative of the embassies of Italy, and we are expecting other embassies, but all the embassies here. Dr. Rose Mensah-Kuti, Executive Director of Abantu for Development, member of the Project Steering Committee and the Grant Selection Committee, Grant Selection Panel, Madame Patricia Akapo, Executive Director from NetRight, Dorcas Manote Agre from Afrian, colleagues from Plan International country office here in Accra, esteemed partners, friends from the media, all the women rights organizations, a youth-led organization present in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly a privilege to welcome you to the launch of the Renew Women Voices, Women's Voice and Leadership Ghana project. I'm hesitating because we debate this in our meeting, whether it's a voice or voice. Today is an important milestone for all of us who believe in the power of women's rights organization, youth-led organization, and feminist leadership to shape a more equal Ghana. The project represents the next phase of the Canada Feminist International Assistance Policy, launched in 2017 to promote gender equality and strengthen the rights of women and girls globally. The earlier Women Voice and Leadership, WVL, initiative, one of the FIA policy flagship program, laid a strong foundation of impact and learning. This current project, the RWVLG, builds directly on that legacy. This Renew project is a 6-year project, 9.8 million Canadian dollars initiative. It's funded by the Global Affairs Canada with co-funding from Plan International Canada, and will be implemented by Plan Ghana in close partnership with NetRight and African Ghana. The Renew Women Voice Leadership Ghana draws upon key lessons from the previous phase. Among them is the clear value of engaging youth-led and emerging organizations, and the critical importance of supporting the care and well-being of women human rights defenders whose advocacy often comes at a great personal cost. Through this, our shared objective remains to enhance the enjoyment of human rights by women and girls in all the diversity and to advance gender equality in Ghana. In this renewal phase, we are adopting a fully feminist, inclusive, and movement-centered approach. The project will strengthen the organizational capacity, the influence, and sustainability of women's rights groups, youth-led networks, organization of persons living with disabilities, informal collectives, and other allied actors working to drive gender equality. Our theme is Renew Voices, Stronger Movement, Powering Ghana Gender Equality. It captures the essence of this work. Across the country, dedicated advocates continue to champion women's rights, often with limited institutional support. Their contributions have moved Ghana forward, and it is our responsibility to help ensure they have the resources, the network, and the visibility that their work deserves. The project has been intentionally designed to support these efforts by strengthening leadership, enhancing advocacy capacity, and creating safe, inclusive space for collective action. Importantly, we aim to nurture the next generation of young feminist leaders who are already redefining the future of gender equality in Ghana. For example, the earlier women voice and leadership contribute hugely to the passage of the affirmative action law, which aims to raise women representation and influence in public life. This current project will help drive the energy of women's rights movement, youth-led organization on its effective implementation by supporting women's rights organizations and groups to advocate, to organize, and hold duty bearers accountable. Today is therefore not simply the introduction of a new project. It is a renewed commitment, a commitment to uplift existing movement, honor decades of advocacy, and amplify the voices that drive change. When women and girls are heard, community prosper, institutions become stronger, and national development becomes more just and equitable. This launch also coincides with the 2025 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. This year's theme is Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. It reminds us of the urgent need to protect the digital spaces where young feminists and women human rights defenders organize. As digital platforms become central to advocacy, they must also become safer and more supportive. Let me express our deep appreciation to Global Affairs Canada for your long-standing partnership, to NetRight and Afrian for your leadership and collaboration, and to all civil society partners who continue to champion this work. Your commitment and courage are the backbone of this initiative. As we move forward, let us hold firmly to collaboration, share purpose, and practical action, principles that will allow us to deliver meaningful progress for women and girls across the nation. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I look forward to the rich dialogue, reflection, and commitment that will follow. Thank you so much. RWVLG, a more equal Ghana. RWVLG, RWVLG. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Constant Chona. I also would like to acknowledge the presence of Madame Janet Herrera from the German Embassy. Can you give us a wave? Thank you very much for coming. We also have a representative from Tony Chocoloni, specifically the country manager, Mr. Joshua Boafo Sapon. Thank you very much for coming. We have representatives from youth-led organizations, Necessary Aid Alliance. Can you give us a wave? We also have representatives, please, from WorldAF. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you very much for coming. You know the adage, behind every successful man is a, I think I heard some whispers. They say behind every successful man is a, beside, not behind, okay, beside. Beside is a woman. Then, beside every successful woman would be a man. So another round of applause for all the males who have come to support the project, the Women's Voice and Leadership Project. Sometimes people say, beside a successful woman is herself, but it's changing. Great. Okay, so we would like to hear more about the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Project. And so I'd like to call on the project manager, Madame Theodora Sari, to let us know what this renewed phase is all about. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Abna. RWVG, a more equitable Ghana. Good afternoon to everyone. And kindly permit me to stand on the existing protocols. For the next 15 minutes, I'd like to walk us through the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership, proudly founded by Global Affairs Canada, with support funding from Plan International Canada. of the 189 countries on the Human Development Index and 134 on the Gender Development Index. We are trying to look at the context, why RWVL. Women in Ghana continue to face harmful traditional practices and many other gender-based discriminations. Women rights organizations in Ghana are not different from their counterparts around the world, receiving less than 1% of all OD assistance funds. Despite all these challenges, our women rights organizations and youth-led organizations are doing tremendous work in the communities where they work. And so there was a need for us to support them. And that's what Global Affairs Canada is doing with this funding. Okay. Global Affairs is our funders, so we needed to see what they were interested in. Global Affairs announced the renewed and expansion of the Women's Voice and Leadership Project in 2023, focusing on strategic partnerships, robust networks, innovative funding mechanisms to support long-term goals of women rights organizations and youth-led organizations. Prioritizing feminist activists and movements, women human rights defenders and the work they do, and particularly those who are in crisis and conflict zones. Renewed Women's Voice and Leadership continue to support Canada's International Assistance Program because that is where it was birthed from. And particularly, we are looking at increased capacity development and advocacy and encouraging women in decision-making authorities. I gave you a brief of where we had come from. So on the one, we learned from it and we tried to incorporate those learnings into the two. We are now focusing on collective care and well-being to counter the stress and trauma our grantees go through, i.e. the women rights organizations, the women human rights defenders, the youth-led organizations, and the network. Again, we are focusing from our learning on the structured excluded organizations who face intersectional challenges. So we are saying that WROs, YLOs receive only 1% of OD, but there are some who even receive far less because their structure excludes them. So we are looking at some intersectionalities there. One key feature of Women's Voice and Leadership, and also with the renewed, is that we thrive on feminist principles of collaboration, of flexibility. We have a transformative approach to our work. We are looking at inclusion and diversity. We are looking at voice and agency. And so whatever we do on the project is being based on these, and we are making sure that we are not only checking the boxes, but we are living our principles. Project overview. Global Affairs Canada, with support from Plan International Canada, our donors. The aim of the project is to increase the enjoyment of human rights by women and girls in all their diversity. I want you to note this because we learned on the one, in all their diversity and the advancement of gender equality in Ghana. The project seeks to support 120 local, national level women rights organizations, youth-led organizations, women human rights defenders, and there are 2 network partners I'll talk about briefly across the nation. It's running from 2025 to 2031, and our key partners is the Network for Women's Rights in Ghana, Net Rights, and Adolescent Network on Population and Development, Afrian Ghana. It has a total budget of 9.4 million CAD, and you would see where those monies will go to very soon. And I present to you our partners. They come with an enviable record in the gender space and the youth space. The project is riding on their expertise to reach all of our women and girls in the country. So what is it that we are seeking to do? We have one ultimate goal, and that is to increase the enjoyment of human rights by women and girls, again, in all their diversity, and the advancement of gender equality in Ghana. We are doing this relying on 3 main outcomes. Our first outcome has to do with enhancing the capacity of our grantees. The second has to do with providing funding, and here we are looking at multi-year flexible core funding for them to develop the organization to be able to deliver the agenda transformative programming. And we are seeking to strengthen advocacy and movement building with the support of our two ultimate partners. The RWVL or WVL has a unique model. First, it seeks to enhance the capacity and leadership and long-term sustainability of recipient organizations, provide flexible, predictable funding to diverse groups, particularly ethnic minority organizations and small and informal organizations. Again, going back to intersectionality. The model also facilitates access to funding, as I have said. It seeks to strengthen feminist and rights-based programming and promote gender transformative programming and intersectionality. Our capacity building approach is unique because the project does not dictate what capacity building models we need to come up with. It's birthed from our baseline, where we use the participatory institutional assessment for grantees to assess their own capacity gaps and come up with the training needs they will have. By experience from the one, we had 6 modules that we developed, and those will be adapted going forward. However, because we are looking at sustainability, we'll be looking at training on resource mobilization, visibility and recognition plans, and train 40 young feminist leaders on feminist principles, leadership, and engage them in internship opportunities. Network and alliance building. We are looking at how you and I can put our voices together and increase our voices on the things that concerns our women and girls. So we'll be training our grantees on evidence-based advocacy. We don't want our advocacy to be mere speaking and rhetoric. We want it to be based on evidence. A number of researches will be conducted to give us the data to base our advocacy on. We would come up with a common advocacy agenda where we all can support to increase it. Facilitate intergenerational dialogue for young feminists, youth-led organizations, and WROs. It's also because of a learning from the one, and NetRight helps us to do that. Facilitate grantee participation in regional, national, and international conferences. It's also another learning from the one. Right, so I've just finished with the 1100 outcome 1. I'm looking at outcome 2. It's a very interesting outcome. This is where the uniqueness of WVL comes to play because it is a grant-making project. And over 50% of the budget is going directly to local and national women rights, youth-led, young feminists, and women human rights defenders for their work. To do this, we come up with 3 funding streams, each serving a unique purpose. And to bring home the funding from Canada to nurture it in our communities, we're giving them Ghanaian Edinkra symbolisms. The first one is AYA. It's a multi-year core funding. AYA stands for Endurance, Independence, and Defiance Against Difficulties. So for a period of 3 years, in 2 cohorts, 30 organizations will benefit from the AYA grant. Then along the way, things happen, emergencies happen. So we've made room for a very fast responsive grant called Gomekedi, taken from the Ewe adage, Kekeli, or there is light. It's 9 months, it's fast, it's quick, so as a stopgap for any eventualities that will come as we do our implementation. And up to 100 of such grants will be given in 5 cohorts over the period. Then we come to the influencing grant. We call it EPA. EPA is an Adinkra symbol that represents law and justice. And it's represented by the handcuffs. But it's law and justice we are looking at. And in there, our 2 network partners would receive that grant, as well as 6 other organizations, women rights defenders, and their youth-led organizations for their advocacy needs. This is how the granting flows. In order to remove all biases, We have a grant selection panel. So the Plan International Ghana will receive the funding, and then our 2 network partners will directly receive funding from that. However, for all the other organizations, they'll go through the grant selection panel to help us select them. This way, we are doing away with any biases that plan or the 2 partners may have to give it a very fair process. They will help us make recommendations for the multi-year, the fast flexible, and the influencing grants. And they are here with us. Okay, this is our logic model. If I had a pointer, I would have just pointed a few. There are 3 things I want us to note here. That is the inclusion of the young feminists, coming again from the learnings and the global research that Global Affairs instituted at the end of the phase 1. We realized that we weren't intentional on that one with the young feminists. So we have a whole output area targeting young feminists. And there's 40 of them will receive direct support, but many others will be called in to the conferences. And then we have the women human rights defenders. Sometimes they work alone. It's not sometimes, most of the time, because of the work they do. They work alone, they face a lot of backlash, digital, community level. And so we want them to be as comfortable as they can. We will give out grants for their safety, their security, and for their care. That was also from a learning from the first one. Then the second one is evidence-based advocacy. I've mentioned that already. We don't want to just to be talking into the air. We want data to back what it is that we say. So that is how our model looks like. WVL is a feminist grant-making project. So our monitoring and evaluation takes a feminist approach and is looking at upholding the agency, the rights and autonomy and voices of the grantees. They will be leading our monitoring and evaluation. They will not do the work and will come from nowhere to come and monitor them. They'll do the work, monitor themselves, and report on them. I'm very happy to say that our baseline, which we call the participatory institutional assessment, will measure Global Affairs' 5-dimensional sustainability framework. We are saying that for you to be a sustainable and a thriving organization, you should look at your people and your leadership. You should look at your structures, systems, and processes. You should seek for resilience and security. You should look at your financial sustainability and your connection and visibility. We know that our human rights and youth-led organizations do a lot of work. This we learn from the one. We share not a lot of reports, but usually we under-report on what we are doing in the community. So we will want to work on that. We will want to work on financial sustainability. The grants, as I explained earlier, the multi-year, the grantees will be encouraged to look out for social enterprises within their context, and would have a professional work along with them to develop those social enterprises. We are looking at creating an inclusive and safe and accessible community redress mechanism so that if there are any difficulties, those who need to hear will hear it and hear it in good time. Project governance. Since that is what we want to see in our grantees, we ourselves as a project want to live what it is that we are saying. So we have 3-tier governance structure. We have the project management team made up of 8 members, 8 specialists to drive this change we are seeking for. It sits at Plan International Ghana. We have the project steering committee, which is the highest governance structure within this project. And I'm happy to say that as at this morning, we have constituted the project steering committee and we have held our maiden meeting. And then we have the grant selection panel, as I have already explained to you. They will help us with the selection of the grantees. All right, so with all of this, we want to show you how far we have come because Global Affairs Canada was generous to give us a 6-month inception phase, which ended in September 2025. We were supposed to finalize the project governance structure, and that's what I just explained. Finalize the grant eligibility and selection criteria by December 2025. Publish the call of expression of interest for the IR grants by December 2025, complete the physical assessment of grantees by February 2026, conduct our baseline by March 2026, and disburse our first grant by March 2026. This is how we want to roll for the year one. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you very much. Please, another round of applause for Theodora for taking us through. Theodora, I just want to ask, which of the grants can I apply for? Aya, EPA, or Gomekadi? But obviously, as she briefed, no, I am not a WRO as in person, and I'm not a YLO as in person, so definitely I am disqualified. Thank you very much, and please, a round of applause to Global Affairs Canada, who is funding this project. I am honored to welcome the head of cooperation, Global Affairs Canada, and as she walks here to give some short remarks, I would like to encourage Net Rights and Afriyan. You have a joint message for us. We'll call on you. For those of you who may not know, Global Affairs Canada is the department that is responsible for managing Canada's global diplomatic relations, promoting international trade, and leading efforts in international development and humanitarian assistance. So it is a great commitment, or in line with our commitment, to advance global security and equality to support this project. And so we are really grateful for that commitment. They funded the first phase, that was the Women's Voice and Leadership Project, and now they've given us a renewed phase. A renewed phase means what? We are hitting the renewing button, eh? Yes, we are hitting the refresh button with a new commitment, new energy to drive change. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome Madame Francois.
Thank you so much, the excellent Madam Chairperson. You are doing a great job. Good afternoon, everybody. What can I say after those great speech and concrete example of the impact this project has been generating? I start by saying that I feel very small in this room to see some familiar faces, great women who have been doing great job, and I'm feeling so small, but at the same time so blessed to just be with you and to see what you have done and you are still going to do. So I want to start by applauding you for the great job that you have been doing. I think both Constant and Theo provided you with the great background of this project. But I would like to go back again because context matters. When we launched these global consultations, before we drafted the FIAP, it was a global and inclusive and participatory. One first observation we were taught as Canada, you have been great in funding multilateral organizations, you've been great in funding international NGOs, we've been doing great things, there's no doubt. But you were not so diligent in empowering those grassroots movements, those fighting every day without means, but quite advancing societies. those are women's rights organizations. That was the first key recommendation. So my department took this commitment seriously and said, okay, we are going to do something. And that was the first launch of the first program. To what Theo said, again, great result, but we were not sure that we are still on track. So we organized a second, not consultation, but some kind of consultation on lessons learned, including during the Women Deliver Conference in Kigali. I was coordinating that consultations. We were again told that great result, first WVL program, but there are some neglected groups that we are not empowering enough. Those include youth network. So we share these observations with our partners. And so you see how I'm feeling so grateful to see today, to see that those observations have been implemented and taken seriously. So very much important. Applaud yourself. I'm not going to repeat the great work that you have been doing. You said it all. Let me just reiterate some very important principles. Why voice and leadership? What it takes to have a voice. It takes to have the agency and the capabilities so that you can exercise your leadership and influence and act and have a decision making. And this is what we are precisely doing, thanks to Plan International, Plan Ghana, and all of you today, to make sure that those strong movement, those strong women and youth and men that are among our best allies, I want to applaud you again. We make sure that we are not doing tokenism. We are not dictating you what you do, because that was also an observation. You know what you do and why you do. We just need to support you. So again, what he was describing are the program modalities: agency, capabilities, stronger organization, stronger movement, so that you take the space that is your place, so that you have the listening that you should be having. So I just want to say, and sure I forget a lot, to me when I read the final report, and I noted that you have been able to influence 26 laws and legislation in Ghana. This is a lot. This is transformational. And I want you to be proud of that great achievement and to continue and to embed more women, more youth, more marginalized people, because as Constance says, it's about being inclusive and intentional so that we have an equal Ghana, a Ghana we want, a Ghana where everybody is equal, everybody enjoy the same rights. So this is my best wish today, and I want to just say thank you. I am today with my colleague, Ya. She has been diligent in really working on this project. I have great people I've been having the pleasure to work with, and I want to salute my colleagues from the Canadian and German, the Italian and German embassy, and everybody here today. I think, again, this African proverb that say, alone you can go fast, but together we can go far. So I just want that we'll come back after maybe 6 years and say we've been far. This is my dream, and thank you all.
As Madame Francois mentioned, please give a sitting ovation with a clap round of applause for the moderator, Abneni Meji. We shall now receive a joint message from NetRight and Afrian. They are representatives to give us a joint message together. So we invite Cynthia and Dorcas.
Thank you, Abna, and good afternoon to us all. So Dorcas and myself are here to give this brief remarks, this joint statement on behalf of NetRight and Afrian in solidarity for this great project that we are about to implement. Distinguished guests, partners, and advocates for gender equality, we are honored to join you today to celebrate the launch of the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Project. On behalf of NetRight and Afrian, we extend our appreciation to Plan International Ghana and Canada, as well as Global Affairs Canada, for its generous and sustained support for youth-led and women's rights organizations in Ghana. For NetRight, this moment marks both continuity and renewal. As a network partner in the first phase of the Women's Voice and Leadership Project, NetRight witnessed firsthand the transformative impact of dedicated and flexible funding on the work of feminist organizations. The Women's Voice and Leadership Project enabled strengthened coordination, deeper community engagement, enhanced institutional capacities, and expanded platforms for amplifying women's agency and advocacy. We are proud to continue this partnership in the second phase, building on the gains made while pushing collectively for the structural changes still urgently needed.
For Afrian Ghana, representing the voices and leadership of young women and girls across Ghana and Africa remains paramount. This renewed phase actually signals a powerful opportunity to deepen our intergenerational collaborations with organizations and institutions within the gender equality movement. Young women brings energy, young people bring innovations, and young people bring bold, new and organization strategies that are vital for advancing youth and feminist agenda. And so the RWVL project creates an inclusive space where young feminists and young leaders can grow, contribute meaningfully, and hold decision makers accountable. On that note, together with NetRight, we commit to uphold to the following. We commit to strengthen movement building across generations, regions, and sectors. We commit to amplifying the voices of women, youth, and marginalized groups in national development processes. We are also committing to advocating for gender transformative policies and practices that protect the rights, expand opportunities, and dismantle systemic inequalities. And finally, we are committing to ensuring that sustainability and resilience of youth-led and women's rights organizations whose work remains at the forefront of social justice are upheld. We recognize and deeply value the trust and investments of Global Affairs Canada, whose long-standing support continues to make it possible for youth-led and feminist movements in Ghana to thrive, resist, innovate, and lead.
As we enter this new phase, we commit to fully support the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Project and to work collaboratively with Plan International and all partners to advance its goals. Together, we will champion a more inclusive, equitable, and just Ghana, where women and youth are not only empowered to participate, but are actively shaping, influencing, and transforming the social economic and political systems that impact their lives. We reaffirm our dedication to building a vibrant, intergenerational feminist movement that drives lasting change and secures rights, dignity, and opportunity for all. Ayuko to us all, and thank you very much.
Ayuko to us all. You know, women's empowerment is like a strong Wi-Fi. When it connects, or when it's on, everything connects, you know, powerfully, fast. Nothing can stop us, and nothing will stop us in this phase. Now, to introduce the Project Steering Committee, that is the highest governing structure that is responsible for the leadership and strategic direction for the project, I would like to call on the Head of Programs and Influencing, Mr. Eric Ayaba. Yes, to introduce the Project Steering Committee and the Grant Selection Committee. Please, let's clap our hands. I think the clapping is getting, let's cheer, yeah. I think we are getting tired with the clapping, so now we'll be cheering.
Good afternoon to you all. We thank God how far we have all come with a renewed Women Voice and Leadership Project. So I am here to do just something small to introduce the Project Steering Committee and then the Grants Selection Panel. The list will be given to me soon. I want to repeat what Constance said, the slogan, so we can just get ourselves warm whilst we wait for the list. Women voices? Or how did we say? RWVLJ. Okay. A more equitable Ghana, a more equal Ghana. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. So, I'm not going to mention the names in any particular order, as it has been provided here. We'll go through the names and then the organizations they are coming from. So we have Dr. Charity Drapsy. From an independent bank. Dr. George Derry, also an independent person. Then Sabia Bekata. Sorry if the names are not pronounced in their right way. Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, sorry. Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. The engineer, Mrs. Juanita, sorry. Constant Chona. Yeah, in cancer, Asamoah. Then Patricia Blankson. Is that Blankson? Then Dorcas Monete. Sorry. I'm sure the approach would have been the name listed and then the list provided. Yeah. So we have Professor John Yao Akpabri as a member of the grant selection panel. Then Jelisa Brown. Then the last person, Patricia Essa. Please, shall we have all the members come forward, or maybe just for a formal introduction to the group here? I was tempted to say something small about Patricia, but I won't say it. Hello, Patricia. Okay. So please, shall we have all the members come forward, just for all of us to know them and to... Okay. So as we have been told, the project steering committee is the highest decision-making body, and then the grant selection panel will independently assess all proposals and then select winning organizations and award the 3 different grants that we have been told. The 2 partners will also join us. They are part of the grant selection panel. So Afrian and then Netrite, please join us. Oh, okay. I'm not too sure. Do we have somebody to swear them into office? I'm doing it. So, on behalf of Global Affairs Canada, our donors, and then on behalf again of Plan International Canada co-funding this, and on behalf of Plan International Ghana and our partners, Afrian and Netrite, and on behalf of all of us gathered here, I am honored to officially introduce to you first the project steering committee to be the highest decision-making body for renewed women voice and leadership project Ghana. Shall we please have a hand clap to the project steering committee? And again, on the basis of speaking on behalf of all those I have mentioned already, I also officially introduce to all of us the grant selection panel members. So here you are, team, the 2 bodies who will be steering affairs of this project insofar as decision making is concerned, and then selection of potential organizations to award grant. Thank you very much. So you may have your seat. Thank you very much for accepting to do this very important work for all of us. On this note, I want to hand over back to my team members.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We would like to acknowledge the presence of our Minister for Gender, Children, and Social Protection, Honorable Dr. Na Momolate. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of the Country Director of Amnesty International. Thank you very much, Madame Genevieve Patterson. We also have representatives from the Affirmative Action Law Coalition. Thank you very much for coming. The next guest I'll be introducing, she is a maestro of words. When it comes to mixing up metaphors, she's there. When it comes to conjuring people's emotions, she's there, and I'm happy it's a she. Please welcome our poet, She the Nodna.
Did you just hear that? Mother, I was just told that I am the author of my life. Then where is my pencil? Because I lost my pen, still thinking about being in line. Mother, you told me that out here I'm supposed to be in line, never step out of line, but you never told me that there were so many lines. So how do I stay in line? Mother, I know I said that I'll never, ever talk to you again, but I guess I lied. Tonight I woke up and your words were weighing heavily in my heart. So I cried. Mother, I am not the girl you raised for 16 years, nor am I the girl who fled for 3 years. I am not you, Mother. I am becoming. I know I said that this was my dream, but what happened? What happened to my dream? Because it's still at night. So when will the day come? The day that I finally stand tall, head held high, higher than the Statue of Liberty. When will that day come? When I finally get freed of society's long list of things I am supposed to be and become? When am I going to be freed? Of what gender's role, decision, definition, and examples are supposed to be when I can actually become? When will I be identified not as Mr. A's wife or B's mother? When will I finally be identified as me? The day that I can finally shoot my shots at that table and not being asked to show the color of my beads on the bed. When? Mother, you told me that a woman's dream was a husband. So if a husband refuses to dream, then she's dreamless. Mother, this is the lady you raised, and I have come so far. I refuse. I refuse to go back to the village and be known as a girl who went against society only to become a what? Cautionary tale? Mother, I am becoming. I know that your dreams were lost with the morning dew, but I'm coming up with all of them. With yours, grandmoms, great-grandmoms, and all those who went before them. I am here, and I refuse to tie my brain as tight as I tie my hair. Sit still, look pretty, smile bright. For others, my father, my boss, my husband, to admire. I go beyond that. I am not an artifact made, bought, and paid for just for its multiple uses. I go beyond that. I, woman, that means I am a whole woman, and that means I go beyond the society's definition of me. Mother, I wish you ever went beyond my label and studied my ingredients. Society, spirituality, psychology has all proven that there is beauty in diversity, but I guess you never saw it. I guess you never knew it. Because mother, I am a different woman now, and right here, right now, I have seen a lot of women who have dreamt big and made it. Therefore, mother, we are becoming, and society will not define us again, because we are women, and we are who we say we are. So together, I guess this was my dream, but it happened late at night, because there were a lot of lights that were supposed to come together to make it a reality. This is my dream, and light has come. This is the day. Thank you.
I told you she would conjure emotions. Powerful message given through poetry. Kindly give She the Not Now another round of applause. And now, the moment is here. Now going to be the official launch of the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Project. To launch the project, I would like to call on our Honorable Minister, Honorable Dr. Na Momolate. Alongside her would be, if we have a representative from the Ministry of Youth here? Okay, I'd like to call on the Country Director, Plan International Ghana. Please, let's keep applauding as they come on stage. I would like to call on the co-chairs of the PSC, the Project Steering Committee. Can I have the co-chairs here? Thank you very much, Mr. Derry, and then Madam Dorcas, and the representative from NetRight. Great. So, we have the three symbols. The Aya, Gomekadi, and the EPA symbol. I'm going to hand over the microphone to our Honorable Minister to officially launch the symbols and then the project.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, we are humbled, and on behalf of the team, we officially unveil and launch the 3 symbols: the Aya, Gumekeli, and then the EPA symbols as the official symbols for the project. Thank you.
Okay. And just please do not take your seat first. Please, representative from the Global Affairs Canada, my apologies, please can you join for the final photograph and the launch of the symbols. Thank you. Very much, Global Affairs Canada, Net Right, Afriyan, Honorable Minister, and the PSC co-chairs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be calling again our Honorable Minister for Gender, Children, and Social Protection to give the keynote address. Honorable Minister is a distinguished Ghanaian politician. And currently, yes, as I said, serving as the Minister for Gender, Children, and Social Protection. With over 2 decades, I know, we all know her as a strong advocate for women empowerment and children's welfare. And one thing you all don't know, but I know, is that she loves banku and okro. Honorable Minister, you have the mic.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Chairperson, Country Director, Plan International Ghana, Head of Corporation, Global Affairs Canada, the convener, Net Right, the President, African Youth and Adolescent Network, Ghana, representatives of women's rights organizations, youth-led groups, civil society organizations, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. I bring you warm greetings from the management and staff of the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. It is a great honor to join you today as the guest of honor as we launch the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Ghana project, a remarkable initiative that continues to advance women's empowerment, leadership, and gender equality across our country. Chairperson, the first phase of the WVL Ghana project, implemented from March 2019 to September 2024, made significant contribution to strengthening women's rights organizations, amplifying women's voices, and promoting gender-responsive governance. Through capacity building, funding, and technical support, more women rights organizations, schools, queen mothers, and more women's rights, queen mothers, and by extension, women have had access to justice, enjoy their rights, and influence entrenched traditional norms. The Women's Voice and Leadership Project has not only provided a platform for women to express their thoughts and concerns, but has also supported their endeavors in various spheres, from education and healthcare to economic empowerment and political participation. The stories of resilience and success that have emerged from our beneficiaries are, to a large extent, testament of the program's effectiveness. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection acknowledges with deep appreciation the impact of these efforts on national development. Distinguished guests, as the ministry mandated to, among others, promote gender equality and women's participation in national development, we are particularly happy with the alignment of these renewed projects with our national priorities. The implementation of this will directly support several key initiatives of the ministry, including operationalization of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act, a landmark legislation that seeks to promote equal representation and participation of women in leadership and decision-making at all levels. The RWVL Ghana project can help strengthen public awareness, support institutional capacity building, and reinforce accountability mechanisms for effective implementation of the Act. Implementing the National Gender Policy 2025-2034, which provides a holistic framework for mainstreaming gender across all sectors. Through its focus on organizational strengthening, advocacy, and social mobilization, the project will serve as a critical catalyst in advancing the policy objectives, especially those relating to women's economic empowerment and elimination of gender-based violence. Capacity building and leadership development of women by empowering women's rights organizations, community-based groups, and youth-led networks to nurture a new generation of female leaders who are confident, influential, and equipped to drive transformative change. Ladies and gentlemen, the renewed Women's Voices and Leadership Ghana project arrives at a critical time as Ghana strengthens its policy environment and working to advance inclusive development. The ministry believes that strong, well-resourced and coordinated women's rights organizations are essential for sustaining progress and safeguarding the rights of women and girls. I am confident that this renewed project will continue to amplify the voices of women's rights advocates, strengthen grassroots feminist movements, and create opportunities for girls and young women across Ghana. Together, let us reaffirm our shared commitment to creating a Ghana where every woman and girl enjoys her rights and contributes meaningfully to national development. I wish to express our profound gratitude to Global Affairs Canada for its continued partnership and unwavering support in promoting gender equality in Ghana. To Plan International Ghana, NetRight, African Ghana, your leadership and dedication continue to inspire national efforts in promoting women's rights. The ministry looks forward to deepen this collaboration as we work together to advance gender equality in Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I conclude by reaffirming the ministry's commitment to providing the necessary policy direction, coordination, and support to ensure the successful implementation of this renewed project. Together, we can build a Ghana where women and girls are empowered, their voices are heard, and their leadership is recognized and valued. I am certain that renewed Women's Voices and Leadership Ghana project consolidates the gains of the first project and would definitely be more impactful. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your inspirational words and message. As we approach the conclusion of the event, I would like to invite the project manager for the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Project to give acknowledgements. Yes. Please, a cheer. We are tired with a round of applause. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much, Abna. And thank you very much to everyone. We have done this in record time. We gave ourselves 2 hours, and we've done it in less than 2 hours. That is how we are approaching this project, with urgency and speed. To acknowledge all of us, we want to thank you very much for coming. I want to start with our online participants. We know you are out there watching us, and we are grateful that you spent your afternoon with us. We are all welcomed, and I want to say thank you again for spending your afternoon with Plan International Canada, AFRIAN Ghana, Netrites, and Global Affairs Canada. We couldn't have had this day without your presence, and we don't take it for granted. Especially, I'd like to acknowledge again Madame Francois and Ya. You've been amazing. Ya, you've been amazing. The relationship is not a donor implementing one. It's more of a family. We've built friendship out of it. And Ya always goes out of her way to make sure that we have the backing from Global Affairs Canada. Ya, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I also like to acknowledge Netrites and AFRIAN all over again. The journey has been long. It has been long. We started in 2024 in March, putting the proposal together. And this is where we are today. Thank you, Patricia and your team. Thank you, Dorcas and your team. And we know that this is just the beginning of a great movement ahead. I'd like to acknowledge Madame Sheila Menka-Primo, AA Law Coalition Lead. Thank you, Mom, for coming. I also like to acknowledge Madame Hamida. Mom, we are grateful that you made the time. Thank you so much for coming. Dr. Rose is at the back, Abantu for Development, and all our partners who are here. Thank you for making it. I'd like to acknowledge our senior leadership team from Plan International Canada, led by Constant and his senior leadership team. Thank you so much for the backing and the support. I also would like to acknowledge my project team members. Do you want to come up? Please come up, because we'll be seeing you a lot for the next 6 years. Please come up. Please come up. Project team, please come up. I also want to acknowledge the Embassy of France and the representative from the French Embassy. You are welcome. And from the Italian Embassy, German Embassy, thank you very much for coming. Right, so these are the able men and women who will be supporting us on the project. We have 2 more to fill. The next time when we meet, we'll meet the complete house. So thank you very much, my team. You've been amazing. The past 6 months has been great. And you know that I am because you guys are. Your expertise are what I ride on to shine. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. So finally, to our media companion, we are working with you. I told you that we are doing visibility. We will do a lot of work. Our Women Rights Organization, youth-led, that's a lot of work in the community. Please work alongside us. Project our stories. Help us to tell the story of the Ghanaian woman and the Ghanaian child in some community over some river with no bridge, but her voice matters. So we'll be coming to you, led by my able comms specialist. Thank you very much, Regina, and we'll be sharing the stories. I want to say good evening and thank you for joining us all over again. Thank you. Yeah, Abna, you can take over.
If the head of corporation was here, I know she would also acknowledge me. So please, a round of applause for me. Yes. Thank you all for coming. And again, a big thank you to Honorable Minister for doing us this honor and giving us inspirational words to carry forward with. To leave us with some thoughtful reflections, I would like to call on the Country Director, Mr. Constantiona, to give us the closing remarks. Please, a cheer and a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Abena. RWVLG, a more equal Ghana. RWVLG, a more equal Ghana. RWVLG, a more equal Ghana. Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, thank you very much for coming. We are so honored to have you among us. Head of Cooperation, Global Affairs Canada, representative of the different embassies in the room, country directors from peer organization, all the women right organization and youth-led organization, senior leader from Planning International, Ghana, distinguished guests, partners, ladies and gentlemen, and friends from the media. As we conclude today's launch of the renewed Women's Voice and Leadership Ghana project, allow me to sincerely thank each of you for your presence, your reflection, and your shared commitment to advancing gender equality in Ghana. Today has reminded us that when women's voices are strengthened, movements grow. And when movement grow, society transform. The project is not only a project, it is a renewed promise to stand with the women rights organization and youth-led groups who continue to lead courageous change across the country. We are deeply, deeply grateful to the Honorable Minister of Gender, to Global Affairs Canada, the Head of Cooperation, to Madame Ya, to NetRight, to Afrian, and all the partners for the trust, the collaboration, and the leadership that has made this new phase possible. Your partnership reflects what true, respectful, and transformative cooperation looks like. This launch takes place during the 16 days of activism, a timely reminder that our work remains both relevant and urgent. Whether offline or online, women and girls deserve spaces that are safe, dignified, and empowering. Together, we can help shape those spaces. To the organization and activists here today, your dedication is the heartbeat of this initiative. The project exists because your leadership continues to inspire progress for Ghana development. As we move forward, let's hold on to the spirit of today, renewed voices, stronger movement, and shared purpose. With continued collaboration, I'm confident that we will deliver lasting impact for women and girls in all their diversity. Thank you once again for joining us, and I look forward to the work we will accomplish together. Thank you, and safe travel home.
Thank you very much, Country Director. Please, we are giving out small souvenirs for you to have some memorable a symbol to just give you memories of this experience. So please, if you haven't gotten yours, kindly remain seated. We'll give you a souvenir. Okay, thinking about memories, would also like to have some memories of this event. So I'd invite our communication specialist, Regina, to lead us in the photography session. We are done. This is the last one. And then we leave. Please, I'm handing over Regina.
All right, so since we already have your consent for the photos, yes. Please, the men in the house, please help us. Then we want to do it. So, yes, please. So, we'll please ask the minister to please, CD, please join, and then we will have Francois also join for the first set of photos, please. Alone first? Oh, okay. The privilege of the All right. With the album here. African. So CD will join the photo, and then our project steering committee members, please be on standby to join the minister for the photo. CD, please. Project steering committee members, please. Right after CD, join. Nicholas, photographer. Steering committee members, please join. Country leadership team, please be on standby to join. Please, let's smile. Some of you are not smiling at all. So, plan, senior leadership team, please join. No, they should join. We are building the family photo. So please join. And then, yes. So our distinguished invited guests, please join. I know we have the affirmative action here. Amnesty International, the Abantu Darais. The representatives from the embassy, please, let's all join. We are having the family photo. Please, all our invited guests, please. The GSP, please. So the country director of Tony's Chocololeni. Please, please. So we come down. Defense for Children, I can see you. Please join. All of us, let's join. She leads. Our youth, please join us. Please, this is a special moment. Make sure you are part of the photo. Please. Oh, I can see some. They are not coming. Maybe I've not mentioned your name. Please. All of us. Please, let's do our family photo, please. Please join us. My media people, I know you don't like photos, so I will invite you. Please, project team members, please join. We have a banner outside. After that, you can have single photos as well.
And every time I look in my mind, I see that woman, a wonderful woman, an African woman,
Please.
mother of nature, beautiful woman.
Okay, so let's smile. RWVLG, equal Ghana now. Please smile. All right, thank you very much. Please, if you want individual photos, our official photographer is here. Please, the last. The video, okay. So we are going to do RWVL, and then we will all respond. So in 3, 2, please join us. Please join us. Okay, Francois with the video. Okay. So this video will go far and wide. So please make sure we get it right. So, Daniel, can you mute the song a bit so that we can hear them loud and clear? So in 3, 2, Abna. In 3, 2, 1, RWVLG. Okay, the last one, RWVLG. RWVLG. Equal Ghana. Thank you. So, the plant team will come around and hand over a small token to you.